how do you shift gears to get out of I am the same things that make me successful at my work to now I'm a mom, now I'm a wife, now I'm a friend?
So one of the exercises I went through, and this actually came out of Entree Leadership Summit last year, my talk for that. So that was before I wrote this book.
Okay.
I wrote this talk. This is the background to it. I think asking people, if you tell people, figure out what matters and spend your life on those things, which is essentially what I'm saying in this book and showing you the steps to do it, that can be hard. People say, well, what does matter? Well, what's important to me? What do I want for my life? They don't know, right? So I said, what if you ask a different question? And I asked this on stage, and it really resonated. And then it's something I've been doing too. Instead of saying, what do I need to do? What do I need to spend my time on? What are my priorities? What do I want? All that stuff, which can be really hard to answer, especially when you're busy and you're in the weeds. Instead, ask yourself a different question. Who do I want to be?
Yep.
Who do I want to be to my kids? And it's almost this out of body experience of saying looking at myself more objectively instead of who do I think I am? Well, I think I'm failing. I think I'm this, whatever. It's no, who do I want to be? And that's another common thing I have seen from at least the women that I work with. They say things all the time. I'm not a fun mom. I'm not a business owner. I'm not a runner. And all I can think is says who? Go do something fun and boom, you're a fun mom. Go put your idea out there. Go run it into the street. You can fix this right now. So instead of thinking about who do you think you are and living within those labels we put on ourselves or those limitations we think we have, then instead just say, who do I want to be? And so when I wrote a list of who I want to be to my kids, that then determines what I do when I get home. Because then I act like the person I want to be. So if I want to be happy, if I want to be fun, if I want to be present, then I act out of that intention of that, what I decided I wanted to be. And then what's interesting is I become that because our actions determine who we are. So it's I choose who I want to be and act in line with that. And then I just by default become that. And it's not perfect at all.
No, but it's directional.
But if I don't decide, then I will come home and be well, we're doing this and then this and then this, and you need to fix your clothes. I would be drill sergeant because at work I'm so switching gears so fast. Now I've got to do this. Now I've got to write. I'm so task oriented at work, and we run so hard and fast here that I would not be present in the moment with my kids. I would not be able to enjoy the spontaneity, enjoy when my son takes, 7.5 hours to walk down the stairs, which I'm how could you move slower? An actual snail could be beating you right now. But it forces you to slow down and just be with them in their world and what's important to them and what sounds fun to them versus your ideas about what should be important and whatever. So I think that question has really helped me. Who do I want to be? And I can do that. You can do the same thing at work. You can do it anywhere. Who do I want to be?
I read a book this weekend and it was fascinating. And they talked about there's two different brain circuits. And I hate to use those tech or mechanistic metaphors for humans, but so when you use the word I am in, can't believe I said that. I can't believe I did that. I'm late to pick up my kids again. That feeling of in it triggers a fight or flight response. Your cortisol, adrenaline, you are in it. When you use words like you, or when you talk to yourself, hey, Christy, you actually solve that problem over there, and it doesn't trigger your response.
Interesting.
Or when you go future. So two examples of this I've seen is when me and Sheila are in the middle of something, and I'm thinking, what is happening in my marriage right now? And then I come to work, and someone says, hey, can you help me and my wife are? And I can go, yeah, this, and this. Because when I'm in it, I've got a hormonal chemical response to this, to fight it or run from it. When I'm over here, I'm distant from it. My body doesn't unhook my frontal lobe, right? I'm in it. I can answer those questions. And what you just said is a awesome way of distancing yourself from, and it lets you just go, I can be a part of this one and this one and this one. Otherwise, except when I'm in it, I'm gonna start solving this thing, right? Because I gotta be fighting it or running from it or freezing it with it, and it seems like a gentler way, right?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I think for me, one of the things that is helpful about it is you don't feel held back by who you think you are. I feel like I'm failing or whatever all these things are. But it also just helps you decide that you can become that person. Yeah. You can decide who you're going to become, and you can do that. And I think that for a lot of people that feel like they're not a good mom or they're failing or whatever, that narrative's not even true. But if you can act in line with whatever you think that is, then it just gives you more permission. One of the things that I talk about in the book that I'm so guilty of is sometimes if I'm not careful, I will focus on the wrong thing in any given moment. And And by doing that, it not only steals my sense of balance and all that, but it actually turns me into someone that I don't like. So let me give you an extreme example. Last year at Christmas, I wanted to get, like all moms for the record, wanted to get a picture of all my kids in matching Christmas pajamas in front of the Christmas tree. I realize this is a big ask, but I just want to make it happen, okay? These dreams are real. All the women can relate right now. So I'm like, okay, guys, I'm bribing, I'm rewarding, you're doing great. Here we go. They don't even need to be perfect, but just everybody looking in the general vicinity of the camera. Oh no. 600 attempts, ornaments are flying off, Conley's kicked his brother, Mary Grace is screaming, someone, like, it's mass chaos. And because I'm trying so hard to capture this photo to show what a fun time we're having, I created a situation that is the exact opposite of fun.
Right.
And by the way, turned myself into someone that I don't like.
Yeah.
And so let's use that example. Separate yourself from that. Go, who do I want to be in that moment? I want to be a mom that's like snapping pictures of what's actually happening. Mm-hmm. And if we capture one cool, like now my new photo rule is 3. Mm-hmm. I try 3 times and I quit.
Yep.
And if I get it, great. And if I don't, I don't. And we move on.
And those pictures will be equally, if not more fun to talk about in 30 years.
100%.
Right?
100%. There's a, did you ever watch the show Little Fires Everywhere?
No.
Okay, well, there's a scene, Reese Witherspoon plays Elena, and there's that exact scene where she ends up screaming and cussing at her daughter in front of the Christmas tree, this thing. That's an extreme example, but we all do it where we get caught up in things that we think are important that are not. Mm-hmm. But because we're so focused on that, obsessed with that, spending time on that, energy, money, whatever that is, and you can fill in the blank with a million different examples, we become someone we don't like. So instead, I just want to decide who I want to be, someone that I would like, that I'd be proud to be, and then just, well, what would that person do? How can I act in line with that idea in my head of who I want to be versus reacting to all these unimportant things that I get caught up in that I think is so easy to get caught up in.
Dude, I love that. So who keeps you accountable to that? Do you and Matt have a code word? Who do you allow into your life that says, Christy, we're done? Or do you have that?
Matt doesn't have to say it. He has a look.
Yeah.
He has a look.
Does that piss you off, though?
Yes.
Because you're trying to get your pictures done? Like,
yes. I'm like, you don't understand. You know what else he does? What else? We'll be at dinner.
You don't understand. He's like, I do. What are we doing?
We have these codes, and he never taught me the codes. I just have picked up on the codes after 10 years. One of them is a look when it's like, you're being too much. Like all this about the Christmas, like he'll just look like, or he might just go, babe. Mm-hmm. And I know that look is like, it's ever. You know what else he does? We'll be at dinner like this. I'm like, let's say group of friends. He'll just gently place his hand on my leg, and I know that means I'm being way too loud. Like, he never told me the hand on the leg means you're being too loud, but I did notice a pattern that I would be at a very loud volume when the hand always came on my leg. So I was like, okay, I'll just bring it down a notch.
Sheila gives me the you're being a lot for everyone. It's just it's a pressure on my shoulder, and it's just like, hey, and that's all the things come out of your mouth you're gonna regret tomorrow. Yeah. And I don't even think you're with us anymore.
Matt is so brilliant because he didn't have to say a word. Yeah, it's just it's a look or it's a hand on my leg, and I'm like, I know.
The first 15 years that happened, I got raged out. Like, I'm exact, and now I'm like, you're exactly right. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, like when I I don't know, need to rearrange our side tables or throw pillows for the 400th time, I'll be like, babe, I think they look great. I'm like, you don't understand.
That's right. See, and I would tell Matt to take a dive on that one. Like, let's let him ride, dude. That's right.
One time he came, true story, this is a few months ago. He came downstairs and I go, do you like that side table? He goes, I do. I also liked numbers 4, 7, 19, and 29. I liked all of those side tables. All the options we've had rotating through the last few months.
Okay, so what makes you a good mom? What makes you good at momming?
Can I give you 2 things?
You can give as many as you want.
There are 2 things I really pride myself in that I think will matter later. I hope it does because I'm really trying hard at it. Being present. I know we've talked about that, but like I'm with them.
You're good at that?
I'm in it. Okay. Yeah, I'm in it. Like whatever story you're telling me, like I'm in it. Also being fun. Like their version of fun. So like I'm not a sit back and watch them play. I am in it. Like I am like we are making up games and scavenger hunts and building forts out of cardboard boxes. Like I'm super creative. So I just want to be fun. Fun and present.
What makes you a good wife? Like a good partner for Matt.
I encourage anything he wants to do. Now, granted, the caveat to that is he doesn't ask for much. So if he's like, I want to take a guy's trip, I'm like, yes, go golf. Yes, buy the fancy smoker grill. Yes, go, yes. Like
the smoker grill.
I don't know what it's called. The Komodo, whatever they're called.
That is, yeah. I don't know. There you go.
Anything he wants, and he makes it easy because he doesn't hardly ask for anything. You know what I mean? So it's sometimes I'll be like, you should, like, I really try to encourage and affirm him. He's one of those people that like, he's always like puts everybody's needs before his own.
Oh, yeah.
He's this deep sense of responsibility. Like that would be irresponsible. I'm like, please go do the trail running group, go on a guy's trip, go golf, go. Yeah. But that goes both ways. I want to be able to do that and I want him to be able to do that. I want us both to have a healthy other parts of our lives than just each other and home responsibilities all the time.
What's one thing you're trying to get better at being a mom?
Typical Enneagram 8, but my anger, like I'm not proud of that. But man, when you're tired and like they're just screaming and they're just wiping peanut butter on the walls, the walls you just cleaned.
Yeah.
Like, or my son Conley will just like go through a room and literally just like throw everything on the floor, like with bookshelves, anything, just it's like they're just actual tornadoes. And most of the time I'm like, you read all these parenting books and they're like, well, just like, just ask them how they're feeling. I'm like, I don't want to hear how they're feeling. I just, every now and then I'll snap and I'll just scream.
Yeah. So do you get angry at what they did? Do you get angry at that you had a picture of what this was going to look like and now it's different? Like, what do you get angry at? Because I find myself there too. And what does that thing come from? Or is it just it's your kids demonstrate how little you actually control in the world? Like what's the anger from?
All of the above.
Okay.
Option D, all of the above. But I will tell you, the one that is the most maddening to me is undoing work I've done. Okay. And I think that's because I'm so tired. And so like when I'm really tired and I pick up, all the toy, whatever, and they come through and literally just throw it all out.
Yeah.
Like that's maddening because I'm like, I was so tired and dug so deep to be able to do that. Whatever the thing is, fill in the blank with whatever it is. It could be any number of things. It's not just cleaning. It's not just toys. Yeah. It's like anything. Like I'll get Conley all dressed for the day. And then the next thing I know, he's literally just like wiping, yogurt on his shirt. And I'm like, oh,
we're going to go through the whole thing again. That's right. Yep.
That cuts me deep because I'm just like, I have to do it again. Like it's you go insane because you're like, I'm doing the same thing and getting the same results over and over and over again, but I don't want to. I'm trying to do something new, but they just.
And I find myself trying to explain algorithms and there's a child going, huh? Yeah. Like I don't, what? And you have to go, oh, you're 5 or you're 3. Right. You don't know what I'm talking about at all.
Right.
Yeah.